Brace yourselves right now because this is the biggest matchup that you can make right now in the UFC welterweight division if stars align. Ian Garry versus Joaquin Buckley. I'm going to go through a lot of things in today's video, and listen, we're going to start straight away with this. There's a lot to go through in today's video. Believe me, there's a lot to go through in today's video, okay? And I'm going to get to some of this towards the end of it, but we're going to start by saying this. I know that Ian Garry feels like he deserves a title shot after defeating number 13 in the world, Carlos Prates, and coming off of a win. Listen, I picked Carlos Prates to win. He nearly did towards the end of the fight. Let's not forget about that, okay? However, Ian Garry won, and he surprised me, and he looked very good on the feet, and he is one of the best strikers in the welterweight division right now. He's proven he is elite level 100%. As much as I dislike the guy, it's true, he is elite level. But Ian Garry seems to think he earns a title shot from that win. I would argue that Joaquin Buckley, if he goes out there and beats Kamaru Usman, which is a big if, by the way, but I do think he's going to do it, so maybe therefore it won't happen, because I've been wrong a lot this year. But if Joaquin Buckley goes out there and beats Kamaru Usman, I think you can very easily argue that he is way more deserving of a title shot than Ian Garry would be right now. Ian Garry has good wins. Listen, he has a win over Jeff Neal. MVP's ranked number 15 at the end of the day. You know, Carlos Prates is ranked number 13. A win over Kamaru Usman at welterweight for Joaquin Buckley after the run he's recently been on. I know they're older fighters, but they are high-ranked fighters. Colby Covington knocking out Stephen Thompson on the feet. This is impressive stuff to do in the welterweight division. Luque is also ranked in the welterweight division. But I think that Joaquin Buckley would be more deserving. If either of them are going to get a title shot over, you know, Ian Garry beats Prates and Buckley beats Usman, I think Buckley's more deserving. But I want to see... Let me cut straight to the point. Buck versus cuck. That's what we need to see right now in the welterweight division. This is the biggest fight you can make right now at welterweight. This beef runs deep, okay? There's some stuff going on at the weigh-ins before the fight of Ian Garry versus Carlos Prates. This fight, Joaquin Buckley has wanted it for a very long time. There's also some other narratives that we're going to talk about here, okay? Joaquin Buckley's going all in. He knows exactly what Ian Garry is. Let's just say that, okay? So I'm going to start with what Joaquin Buckley had to say about Ian Garry. And if you ain't convinced that you need to see Joaquin Buckley versus Ian Garry after this to decide who gets a title shot in the welterweight division, you ain't an MMA fan. Rachmanov and Brady... fucking book each other up book them against each other. Rachmanov versus Brady. Winner gets a title shot next against the winner of Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. Book Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev for International Fight Week. And this is the perfect fight in the meantime, if Buckley beats Usman, to decide who gets the next title shot. Take it away, Joaquin Buckley, okay? Now, I'm going to give him a few seconds to speak here. And you tell me if you want to see this fight or not, and this fight build up or not. Take it away.
There's a little bit of background there, right? Because Ian Garry kind of went on an interview this week. He said some things. He said, you know, Joaquin Buckley can barely speak English. He said,
Right. So the reason why he don't understand me is because I don't speak Cuckanese.
We need to see Buck versus cuck. If Joaquin Buckley's taking this promotional angle, I need to see Joaquin Buckley versus Ian Garry. Okay? I need this humiliation at a press conference. Buckley don't speak Cuckanese. Ian Garry, you saw it in a video I made earlier this week talking about how annoying Ian Garry is. Nobody likes Ian Garry, dude. I can make a whole other video. We need to see this, dude. Buckley knows the game, okay? He knows what's up with Ian Garry. He don't speak Cuckanese. Ian Garry said earlier this week, I don't even understand. He can barely speak English. I don't even understand what he's saying half the time. Joaquin Buckley don't speak Cuckanese, dude. We need to see Buck versus cuck in the UFC. If you ain't already hyped, I don't know what to tell you. But there's more to it. Okay? There is more to it. Let it play. And we'll get Ian Garry's response, and I'll throw in some other little things that I think you guys need to see as well in this video. Just to really sell you on the authenticity of this matchup and how it truly is Buck versus cuck.
Right. So the reason why he don't understand me is because I don't speak Cuckanese. You understand? So I can understand why he didn't understand me the first time. But, you know, when I was out there and, you know, he doing his weigh-ins, you know, and I'm not trying to get into his head or nothing like that, but when you talk like that, don't act like when you see me like I'm invisible. You talking about me, you saying my name, holla at me.
Dude, Ian Garry's been talking shit about Buckley for a long time. He keeps dissing him in his interviews. Now, maybe the weigh-ins aren't the time to keep that same energy because there's other stuff going on. But still, Joaquin Buckley's rightfully annoyed by this, okay? This ain't Buckley starting the beef. This beef has been started by Ian Garry purely because Buckley wanted to fight him and was looking to fight him. We can go over that here as well. I mean, this is where it started.
Okay, that's
right. Then you say, why don't you fight me? You're in this now, right?
I gotta get a middle
I'm
name.
fighting
Okay.
eight in the world. Why would I look down when I'm going this way?
Yeah.
You should be calling me out because I'm up there.
Yeah, right.
That's the right thing.
That's the right
but
thing.
why would I go backwards when I'm trying to be the best in the world?
Because I got a
that
name.
does not. I don't give a fuck if you got a name.
Damn.
If your ranking's not higher than mine, nothing to do with it.
But he'll take on number 13 ranked Carlos Prates on short notice. But if your ranking's not higher than Ian Garry, it's got nothing to do with him, apparently, okay? He don't have to put in the hard work, allegedly. This is a while ago, okay? So Ian Garry, after this, you know, he doesn't like the fact that Joaquin Buckley keeps calling him out. They were supposed to fight each other before, but the fight fell through. Ian Garry stepped in to fight Rachmanov, and Joaquin Buckley ended up fighting Colby Covington. I mean, this has some history to it, okay? And, you know, Buckley's very, very loudly saying that he also wants Buck versus Cuck, as you can see. We up now, take the throne, Tampa, Buck versus Cuck. Okay? That's the matchup right there. Now, Joaquin Buckley still goes on, and we'll get Ian Garry's response. Okay? I will put full promotional force behind this fight. Don't you worry about it. UFC. If any of you matchmakers are watching, put this on pay-per-view. And I'll put my full promotional force. I've got stuff to show that's going to get people invested in that fight for sure. Okay?
Let me know something. But, you know, his girl, very protective, protecting her man, you know what I'm saying, using the baby like a shield, whatever, but it just is what it is, you know. But I really want to see what, you know, Ian Garry is about and just what he had to say to me in person. And he was real quiet.
So what did you make of that reaction then that you got from him? Because we saw, I think the security tried to escort him off the stage and he kind of stood there and he...
I mean, nothing happened. I mean, his girl was touching on my arm and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Caressing my arm. I didn't know what all that was about. But I feel like, you know...
I've got footage of this. We're going to go through the footage of this, by the way, guys.
Security, you know, they got to do their job because they just never know how fighters going to react, you know. So, you know, shout out to them. But, you know, for me, I just want to promote and have a conversation because if we really going to get down, let's get paid for it at the end of the day.
So who's your prediction in the main event tonight?
And we go on to a prediction in the main event and what's going to happen. Is there anything more to this? I've given it another 10 seconds.
Man, come on. I ain't going to lie to you. I want Ian Garry to win, right? Because we're going to keep promoting it and we're going to keep selling it.
It's going to keep happening, dude. The beef is there. It just needs to be turned into a super fight. And I got the power to do it, chat. Now, he mentions a moment at the weigh-in here. Okay? And there was a moment at the weigh-in where Ian Garry was on stage. And Joaquin Buckley tried to get to him. And Ian Garry's wife intercepted. She played defense. Okay? Real well, she played defense. Okay, and she got in the way of Joaquin Buckley's pursuit. He wanted interaction with Ian Garry on the stage to set up his next fight. We know how Joaquin Buckley does. Now, if Usman beats Buckley, this whole thing's going to fall apart. So you got to pay attention to Buckley versus Usman as well. Because a lot of things have to align for this to happen. But I need this matchup. We can't let this one slip. Okay? Now watch this moment here.
What up, y'all? Y'all know I had to pull up on Ian Garry at the weigh-in for talking all that mess in this little interview. So I'll wait till he get done. I'm waiting patient. As soon as I pull up, boom, she bumped right into me.
Ian Garry's wife steps up. She sees Buckley coming. She's in. Running defense. Okay? Maybe you could say it was timing. Who knows? Maybe she didn't notice Joaquin Buckley.
She gonna use the baby as a shield, pass him off to him. So I'm like, all right, I'll let you have that one. But as soon as I'm about to turn around, she comes over to me, caress my arm.
Interesting stuff. Now, I have another piece of information to show you that may indicate some kind of intent here. Okay, guys? Interesting stuff, though. Goes over to Joaquin Buckley, caresses his arm. Now, look at Ian Garry's reaction to this. Look real close. I can't really zoom in much more.
and say, I'm going to see you later on tonight. Girl, what the fuck that mean? I'm trying to see him, not you.
Licks his lips! And again, Joaquin Buckley saying that she told him, I'm going to see you later tonight. Okay? And then Buckley says, I want to see Ian, not you. Interesting stuff. But you saw Ian Garry lick his lips there, guys. Okay? There's layers. I will see Ian Garry slept in that octagon. I don't care what it takes. I don't care what it takes, dude. He don't represent the boys. Okay? We need to get rid of him immediately. And if Buckley's the guy to do it, Buckley's the guy to do it.
Ooh.
And he says, you know, she said she wants to see you later tonight and all of this. And we'll get to Ian Garry's response to this in a second. But I need you to see this. Just in case you were wondering, dude. I mean, Ian Garry and his wife have very, very clearly discussed his dreams before. What are his deepest desires? And this was a time when Ian Garry met up with Jamal Hill. Not that long ago. And someone who's quite close to Joaquin Buckley and someone who gives a lot of respect to Ian Garry as well. But Ian Garry had some things to say upon first encountering Jamal Hill. This is where Ian Garry's mind goes to. Okay? Let it run. This was a while ago now, but just in case you were wondering if there's any validity to what Buckley's saying here about the wife caressing his arm and saying, I'll see you later, and him being like, no. Let's see what Ian Garry has to say here.
In my dreams, what am I?
You're on your way.
All I know is, if I can have that extra 3% athleticism, right? And that beautiful fucking skin that when I get sweaty, I look like I'm covered in crystals. I'm like, shit, I would be money.
This is Buck versus Cuck. This ain't no promotional piece. This is for real, okay? This is the Buck versus the Cuck matchup. And this is what people want to see in the UFC. I know you guys want to see it. Just in case you thought this was just some character that Ian Garry was playing, where he's this cuck. Just in case you thought Joaquin Buckley was talking a whole bunch of nonsense by calling Ian Garry a cuck. No, no, no. Okay? Ian Garry's about it. Okay, and now let's break down this scene. You know how I like to break things down. Ian Garry, Jamal Hill. First of all, for this to be the thing that you go to talk about when you meet a black person, dude, stop fucking embarrassing us on the world. I'm saying us, okay? Don't go to this. Hello, how's your day? You doing good? You ready for the fight? Don't go to this. Step 1 of Introduction to Black People 101. This ain't a language lesson that we're teaching here, okay? Don't do this. Ian Garry, you know? Whether you like it or not, because I know you want to be Brazilian now. You're representing the boys up there. Don't do this shit. But this is what Ian Garry does. And now he asks his wife, okay?
In my dreams, what am I?
In my dreams, what am I, honey? Over to his wife. So this is something they have discussed before, okay? So this is, and what does Ian Garry's wife say back to, honey, in my dreams, what am I? He wants to be a big black man. So 100% verified truth. And Buckley's, and not Buckley, gee, I just did something wrong. And listen, Michael B. Jordan's here thinking, and Obama's here saying, I'm joking, guys. And Jamal Hill is immediately shocked by this. Honey, what's my dreams? Tell him what we discussed my dreams are. He wants to be a big black man. So this is something they have discussed. So 100% you can put this down in the history books. Fact. This ain't nothing I can be sued on. This is their own words, okay? Because we've had this trouble before where I've been under lawsuit threats, okay? For other things that, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, though. We know for a fact that there has been a discussion in the Ian Garry household. Sorry, in the Ian Machado Garry household. There has been a discussion before where Ian Garry has expressed his dreams to his own wife that he wishes he was a big black man. Now, I'm not saying when those discussions happened. All I'm saying is we know for sure that they have happened. Okay?
You're on your way.
All I know is,
You're on your way. Is he been tanning recently? I don't know what Jamal Hill didn't know what to respond with. You're on your way. You're on your way? Okay, I don't know. I could come up with some interesting examples on how you could maybe get there, but I'm going to keep this on topic. You know what I'm saying?
If I could have that extra 3% athleticism, right? And that beautiful fucking skin that when I get...
That beautiful skin. I mean, dude, Ian Garry, dude, Buckley, you gotta take him out. We can't have him in the fucking spotlight, okay? We just can't have this, Buckley. Whether you like it or not, you're fighting for more than one community, dude. Buckley thinks he's fighting for the, he's for his own community. Dude, you're fighting for us as well here. Take this bitch out of the fucking spotlight now. Buck versus Cuck. We need to see the matchup. Every fight fan needs to see this matchup. There ain't no people, because you know what's going to happen if Buckley beats Usman? Ian Garry title shot, Makhachev jumps in, the winner of Rakhmonov, Brady jumps in, and sooner or later, Buckley is going to literally get left. Who cares if you just beat Usman? You need to do more. It should never be like that in the welterweight division. You know? There were discussions on Khamzat Chimaev getting a win over Usman, getting a title shot, not even in his division. I know Chimaev then went out and won again, but there were discussions at least. Sooner or later, if we let this logjam happen, Buckley might be not even a win away from a title shot. If he does beat Kamaru Usman, he might need another 2. So we got to do what's right. Makhachev, fight superior for us, okay? You got work at lightweight to do. Don't go skimpering off to 170 just yet. Bilal Muhammad versus JDM. Rakhmonov versus Brady. And also Ian Garry versus Joaquin Buckley, if he gets past Kamaru Usman. Now, if Usman wins, Ian Garry should also have to go through him as well for a title shot then. But we need to see Buck versus Cuck. This is the matchup that needs to happen. Ian Garry, he's given his response to this, and let's just say this. He is not fond of Joaquin Buckley. To say the very least, Ian Garry is not fond of Joaquin Buckley, okay? He won't entertain the idea of Joaquin Buckley. I wonder why. Scared? It's all good.
Another contender in this division was in here earlier, Joaquin Buckley.
Now let's see how Ian Garry reacts to this. Mr. I'll take on anybody. Mr. I'll step up whenever it takes. You know? I'll take number 13 on. Sure thing, boss, he says to the UFC. Anything you want, I'm a company man. What about Joaquin Buckley? If he were to beat Kamaru fucking Usman, and in my opinion, overtake you in terms of who deserves a title shot next in the welterweight division. What do you think?
There's some back and forth.
That man is an absolute pussy. I don't care for anything he has to say. Leave him to be him, and let's move on.
With Betfair, you can get a free...
The adverts ruin it all. But still, Ian Garry don't want nothing to do with Joaquin Buckley. Don't want nothing to do with him. And he's never wanted anything to do with him, as we saw in this video earlier in this very video. Ian Garry don't want nothing to do with Joaquin Buckley. I don't give a fuck about him. He's a fucking pussy, so you'll talk shit about him. But let's move on. That guy's a fucking pussy. That guy can barely speak English. But let's move on. I don't have to fight him. Those are fighting words. And fighting words need to lead to fighting. Okay? That's what I know as an MMA fan. If you got fighting words... You best back it up with fighting actions. I need to see Ian Garry versus Joaquin Buckley. A reporter tries circling back to this later in the interview because the reporters, the MMA media, as dumb as they are, they know this is the matchup. We all do.
At the weigh-ins the other day, I'm just curious what happened there.
Joaquin Buckley was at the weigh-ins.
Little incident with you guys at the weigh-ins the other day. I'm just curious what happened there.
There was no incident with me at the weigh-ins, Joaquin.
Guys, I know Ian Garry's doing his very, he's just speaking things into existence even if they're not true type of thing. But guys, there may have been a moment at the weigh-ins here that Ian Garry felt some type of way about. Remember, guys, there was no incident at the weigh-ins, okay? Ian Garry don't want nothing to do with him. And people in the comments are trashing this, but listen, dude. I'm not one to judge anyone for bringing family into it. So listen, I can't, but listen. There was definitely an incident at the weigh-ins. There was definitely a potential incident at the weigh-ins, and Ian Garry watched it happen. And Ian Garry pointed at it happening, and he got a good look. And not only did he get a good look, watch very closely, he had a good old lick of the lips as well, chat. We need to see Buck versus Cuck. Anyone who knows the sport knows we need to see this. That's the matchup to make next.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
didn't fucking see him.
Thank you.
He didn't fucking see him. Chat. He didn't fucking see Joaquin Buckley. So who are you looking at there, Ian? He didn't fucking see him at the weigh-ins, guys. Caught in his own lie at the end. Rent-free in your head. That tells me there's real beef. That tells me you really don't like Buckley. So how about this? When Buckley goes out there, and if I predict correctly, I think he's going to beat Usman at this point. I think he beats Usman. I think Buckley's incredibly underrated at welterweight. If Joaquin Buckley beats Usman, there's no all of you sitting around deciding who wants a title shot, who deserves it more. Right? Oh, he beat Carlos Prates. Oh, he deserves it. No, we're not doing that, okay? Because I'll tell you this. If you say, oh, I just beat Carlos Prates, Buckley will then say, I just beat Kamaru fucking Usman. And I know what name I value more in the welterweight division in terms of who should be getting a title shot. So how about you run against each other and decide who wins that one? Buck versus Cuck. Live on pay-per-view. If Buckley wins in June on this Atlanta card, September, October, November, you name it, live on pay-per-view, Ian Garry versus Joaquin Buckley. Now, at the end of this, I was about to say like and subscribe. I had to fucking sit through Ian Garry's media day. If you want me to make another video breaking down Ian Garry's post-fight interviews, because I swear to fucking God, this guy's not capable of having fans. I was like, okay, Ian Garry proved me wrong. I hate him. I want him slept out cold on the canvas. I won't rest until it happens. But God, I'll give him a chance. And I listened to the media day. And I listened to the Ariel Helwani interview. There is no chance of me liking this guy. So if you want a video of me breaking down that, let me know. But God, the unlikability continues. I need to see Buck versus Cuck. That's the matchup that needs to happen. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Toodle Pip. I'll see you later. Goodbye.